Good evening. Jamaica on Monday recorded 2 more COVID-19 deaths, pushing the tally to 315. Those who have died are a 69-year-old male from St. Anne and a 43-year-old female from St. Thomas. One other fatality is under investigation. Meanwhile, there were 123 new cases with ages ranging from 1 month to 93 years old, pushing the total number to 13,760, with 1,762 being active. Of the new cases, 72 are men and 51 are women. In the meantime, there were 20 more recoveries, increasing the total to 11,526. Some 82 persons are in hospital, with 4 being moderately ill and 6 critically ill. 14 persons are in government quarantine, while 30,354 are at home. In a news update, all children who were retested for COVID-19 at the Maxfield Park Children's Home in St. Andrew have returned negative results. The children were retested following the infection of 12 caregivers with the virus recently. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, in partnership with the National Education Trust, handed over tablets to wards of the state earlier today as part of the One Laptop or Tablet per Child initiative. Honorable Robert Nesta Morgan, Minister of State in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, speaking at the handing over ceremony held at the Child Protection and Family Services Agency office in Kingston, said following consultation with the ministry and other stakeholders, every child in state care will be getting access to a device.
We were sitting down with Ms. Gage-Gray and we started asking ourselves the question, what of the children? Because people assume that because they're in state care, then by default, they would be contemplated in the one laptop or every child getting a laptop. Not necessarily the case. Because of that assumption, you may overlook them. And I want to thank Ms. Gage-Gray for raising the issue that many of our children in state care did not have a device. And so we consulted with the minister, we consulted with our partners. Some work was done by NET, Ms. Harris is here, and we have been able to find, whether by commitment or by delivery, enough laptops to eventually give every child in state care access to a device.
Minister Morgan also explained why the provision of tablets is important.
Even after we overcome Corona, which we will, the education ecosystem has changed. Virtual learning will be a part of our education ecosystem for the foreseeable future. It is a reality, however, in Jamaica that many of our children do not have access to devices or access to the internet. Some don't even have electricity. So one of the mandates handed down to us by the Prime Minister, to not only this ministry, but also the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology, is to find a way to ensure that Jamaicans have access to the internet, have access to devices. When you give a child a device, who could not afford it, their parents could not afford it, they watch TV, they probably have seen YouTube with other children having devices, having access to the internet, and they ask themselves, why our community, why this family does not have the opportunity to use these devices. So when you go and you give them something like that, you basically are making them a part of the society. You're making them feel that they are important. So I want to thank all of the donors, all of the partners. I want to thank the ministry and the ministry staff for going beyond the call, the CPFSA for going beyond the call to ensure that hopefully by the end of this month, every child in state care who needs a device will have a device.
He further pointed out the number of children currently in state care.
There are about 52 homes in Jamaica, all under the governance of the CPFSA. 41 of them are private, 9 are government run. Of that total, we have about 4,600 children who are in care, means they are domiciled within these places. We have about 2,000 other children who are in residential facilities, whether they are in foster care or whether they're between the process of up to adoption. So about 6,600 children currently are interacting with the state on a consistent basis through the CPFSA. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And over the last few months, we've been working very closely with the CPFSA to do, first thing that we're planning to do is to deal with the issue of children 0 to 3 years old who come into contact with the state. What is the vision and objective? It is internationally accepted that the best place for a child is in a family. So while we have children in homes, I don't think there's anyone in this room who believes that state care is the best place for a child. It is not. But we would like every single child to leave the state system and be placed with a family.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive Officer of the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, Mrs. Rosalie Gage Gray, in her remarks, pointed out that these tablets will give the children in state care a full opportunity to participate in the online learning process.
We are quite pleased of this opportunity so that we are able to have our children fully connected to the teaching and learning process. We expect that the devices so presented will be used in the appropriate way, and we have sensitized and will continue to sensitize our children to this. We believe that education is that tool, that driver that's going to take our children through, and we are quite pleased with the presentation here this morning.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the government of Jamaica is moving with alacrity to ensure Jamaican students can participate in the digital age with devices that will give them access to online classes. Through his Positive Jamaica Foundation, Prime Minister Holness last week distributed 600 devices, including tablets and laptops, to PEP and CSEC students registered in schools within his West Central St. Andrew constituency. Prime Minister Holness says they are using this as an opportunity to ensure that every Jamaican child can participate in the digital age. The Prime Minister pointed out that using the devices for schoolwork, seeking information, and as productive tools to solve problems will give Jamaican students the generational leap necessary to achieve digital inclusivity. He added that remedial classes will be an important part of the education strategy to address the loss of teaching time due to COVID-19. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Holness stated that the government is carefully implementing all precautionary measures before returning to face-to-face classes. Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett has called on stakeholders in Negril Westmoreland to exercise a greater level of compliance in keeping with the enhanced coronavirus COVID-19 measures for the parish. The special measures, which include tighter curfew hours from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. daily, began on December 16, 2020 and were extended up to January 15, 2021. They are aimed at curtailing the spread of the virus across the parish, which has among the highest number of cases per population. Minister Bartlett said that the onus is on tourism interests to, quote, insert ourselves in that management system to make sure that compliance is at the highest level, end quote. Minister Bartlett pledged the support from the Education Ministry where possible. Well, from his ministry rather, where possible, which is the Ministry of Tourism. He was speaking at the launch of the COVID-19 Ambassador Program of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association JHTA Negril chapter, held recently at the Sandy Haven Resort. In other news, there has been another major gun bust at the wharf in St. James following 19 firearms, including 6 high-powered rifles and just over 470 assorted rounds of ammunition, which have been seized. The police is reporting that there is now a major multi-agency investigation underway as they seek to identify the persons responsible. Lawmen assigned to the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch (CTOC) have arrested and charged 2 men following an incident which occurred in McCook-Spen, St. Catherine on January 9. Charged with 2 counts of illegal possession of firearm and illegal possession of ammunition are 45-year-old Kevin Johnson, otherwise called Prang, an auditing clerk, and 45-year-old Mazias Douglas, otherwise called Brother Dog, a taxi operator of Love Lane, McCook-Spen, St. Catherine. Reports are that about 6:30 p.m. an operation was conducted in the area and the premises occupied by Johnson and Douglas was searched, and 1.22 caliber carbine rifle and a Smith & Wesson pistol with 10 9mm cartridges were found in their possession. The men were subsequently arrested and charged. Their court dates are being finalized. Residents of the Trenchtown community are crying for peace and a cease of gun violence in the area. Our news team visited the community and spoke with some residents who explained that they are suffering really badly, especially their children being traumatized by the ongoing violence.
Now the community right now, the violence and the war offend the people in them, to traumatize the young baby them, because you have young baby just born where high power weapon and fire where as the fire the baby them jump out of them sleep. So them traumatize them sleep. Them not reach nowhere in their life and them start go through them something here. You understand me? Them not start war and them, the man them in the community where the bigger man them just make them things go on. Because them get the look boy them gun for going in the community. We need them things to stop. Violence and crime need to stop in a Trenchtown. 52 years now me in this, and I face too much under gun violence right now. I know this will go on to affect everybody in the community. Nobody now come out and to reach everybody doorstep right now. And this thing I need to stop instant. The government have to come in, come make a stand. Bigger heads have to come in, come make a stand for people's life and valuable people's life in a Trenchtown where need a better life in the community.
Yeah, it traumatize the youth them. Youth them not sleep. So it affect them body, them a ball, my youth them feel lie alongside of me for my bed, you know.
We also spoke with residents who also operate businesses in the community who explained that they are unable to earn a living due to the uprise in violence and are calling on the government to intervene.
It affects everybody in the community or the business. Everybody. Because it's not everybody in the ghetto body now. It's not everybody in the ghetto body. It's not everybody in the ghetto violence. You understand me? Shop close, 6 o'clock curfew, police affair, run everybody off the road, treat them like animal because we behave like animals. The police are coming and treat you like animal. Because if you behave like animal, police are going to treat you like animal. You understand me? And then police, so that people that go once and like police bad name, police are this, but what them work them do? You understand me? And blood run through them veins, them have feelings like everybody else. Sometimes them tired too, you know. Sometimes them tired, but if we live in a unity and peace, them don't have chance to do all of them something. You understand? And me I tell you say, it stress out a lot of people, but me, whole heap of people it stress out. Women are dead, enough is enough. Women are dead, me live in this community 40 years now. And me I tell you say, at first me ever say woman, really man I put gun to woman heads and just kill them and things just happen so. Trust me, it frust me out, it stress me. And everybody in Arima is a family. Everybody in Arima is a family. Who for brother na there with a cousin there, who there with a one day, who for niece there on the side, who there with a one day, who, yo, it's a family thing. So at the end of the day, you have to say peace, you have to say love, because this cannot continue, so I really need the government or, you know, the bigger heads are going to step up and come in at this, because I tell you something, I'm a business, I thought I'm a businesswoman at this place here, I'm a businesswoman from a 12-year-old.
Another resident said that the community members should also call for peace, as this is taking a toll on the growth of the community.
I'm traumatized. Yeah, all the people gone. I don't know who in the building, but I know say me did I go run with too. Because I can't bother with this. This need to stop. Nothing now going for my local business when I have this, so I can't do nothing. I can't sleep good. You have to sleep and I think. Them something I need to stop, man. The people them to come out for true and stop this. Look how I go class stress and maga. And the war stress me out. I can't sleep.
The police are warning the public to desist from attacking officers on duty following Sunday's attack on officers attempting to enforce aspects of the Disaster Risk Management Act, DRMA, in Sanshore District, Portland. The officers were attacked when they tried to put an end to an illegal event taking place outside of curfew hours. Approximately 150 people were in attendance at the party. The police said that, adding to that, their service vehicle was also damaged during the incident, which occurred about 10:15 p.m. According to the police, one of the patrons was accosted by officers when he was observed with a bulge in his waist. However, while searching the man, the crowd began throwing stones, injuring the officers. The man was found with a knife in his possession and was arrested and subsequently charged. He has been identified as 24-year-old Kenroy Johnson, otherwise called Big Boy, a laborer of Barracks District in the parish. He is being charged with being armed with an offensive weapon, malicious destruction of property, and indecent, abusive, and calumnious language. He is scheduled to appear in the Portland Parish Court at a later date. The police said that they are seeking the owner of the premises and the promoter of the event, who are being urged to contact the Manchester Police immediately. And finally, in the news, as of yesterday, January 11, the Tax Administration of Jamaica, TAJ, began the pilot phase of a direct funds transfer project aimed at improving the process by which customers transfer funds to TAJ's bank accounts for the payment of taxes and fees. Under the new arrangements, all funds transferred to TAJ's bank must include a direct funds transfer number, DFTN, generated from the TAJ website for it to be received. This, the TAJ says, will remove the need for a manual direct banking form to be later submitted. Customers will now also be able to print their official receipt instead of having to retrieve it at a later date from a tax office. With the implementation of the pilot, customers who previously used the manual direct banking option are reminded to switch to another electronic payment option or to begin using the alternate direct funds transfer DFT payment option. This semi-automated DFT option requires customers to generate a payment advice on their Revenue Administrative Information System account on the TAJ website at www.jamaicatax.gov.jm, which has been enhanced to include a direct funds transfer number, DFTN. And those are the stories making news. I am Tamar McHale. We will now take a break and then join Christopher Scott with sports.